Today's professional business world offers more exciting opportunities than ever before. At the same time, it has never been as competitive. One of the easiest and most effective ways to give yourself a competitive advantage is to know and follow the unwritten codes of business etiquette. Different environments have different expectations of how to conduct yourself in the workplace. On the college campus, a more casual, relaxed atmosphere exists than in a more structured, professional business environment. At the same time, business behavior and dress codes vary from industry to industry, even from country to country. Something that is becoming more important as the business community continues to expand on a more global level. One of the first and probably most important business situations most people face is the job interview.
You found the building okay?
Yeah, it was very easy. Thank you for the directions.
Great. Well, come on in, have a seat over here.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll get started. Well, Renee, I'm so glad that you could make it here today.
Making a good first impression is extremely important in any business situation, particularly a job interview. People generally make their first impression in 7 seconds. And once you've made a first impression, you can never make it again. One of the most important things that affects someone's impression of you is the way you dress. Different situations call for different dress codes, but it is always better to dress too formally than too casually. For that reason, formal business attire is generally recommended for most job interviews.
I think that when you're out there in the business world, you need to think about what you're presenting yourself as, because your brain isn't wide open with all of your skills presented. They're going to look at you and draw a conclusion, and you have to be aware of that all day long.
Besides having a professional appearance and a positive attitude, it's also always important to be prepared in advance of the meeting. It's a good idea to keep a file of pertinent job information, including names and phone numbers of important contacts. Research the company with whom you are interviewing by using resources at the library and on the internet. Prepare a professional-looking resume that lists your credentials and education.
Very good.
One of the keys to getting a job is the resume in the first place, and I am regularly horrified how many resumes have misspellings on them. Lots, not a few, lots. It's unbelievable that someone could not check over their resume or have someone else check it over, or bad printing, or stupid layouts, or too cutesy, telling me too much about their personal life, which I couldn't care less, or they're getting too artsy and they think they need to stand out, so they do some obnoxious design element on there. And a good, clean, professional resume is far more valuable than somebody who's trying to impress you with their creativity, I think.
The end of an interview is still a very important part of the process. Always give the recruiter a firm handshake. Maintain an enthusiastic, positive attitude, and try to move the interview process forward.
And the other thing I find interesting is very seldom does somebody smart enough to say, listen, I hope I get seriously considered for the job. I love what your company's all about. I really enjoyed the interview, and please feel free to call me if you have any more questions, because I'm very interested in this job. Now, you would think that's the simplest thing in the world, and I'm telling you, it seldom gets done. Seldom.
You should immediately write down any important information gleaned from the interview, such as the salary, job requirements, and names of potential managers. Many of the same rules apply once you're a member of the workforce. Either during the interview process or after you've started working for a company, you will more than likely be invited to a business lunch. In these situations, it is very important to follow certain guidelines. Business meal etiquette is very similar to formal dining situations. Of course, you should always use good manners and the proper utensils. It's normally best to avoid alcohol with your business lunch. You can avoid embarrassing situations by staying away from messy foods, such as spaghetti, finger foods, or bony fish. Appearance and behavior are also just as important after you get a job. However, different standards apply to different work environments. For instance, more informal offices may have more casual dress codes. Appearance and conduct can vary within the same environment. Casual Fridays have filtered into the dress code of many businesses. Since casual means different things to different organizations, a good rule of thumb is to pay attention to what the successful managers are wearing on casual days. Your behavior in the workplace will have a tremendous impact on your success as well. Always be prompt and respect your prescribed work schedule. Be sure to keep your work area looking neat and professional. This gives others the impression that you're well organized and have things under control.
Liz,
It's also important to always be considerate of fellow employees. Be cautious about interrupting others and disturbing their work. Personal matters should be handled on your own time, away from your place of business. Obviously, video games are frowned upon. Email and internet use should be handled professionally at all times. Email messages can sometimes create uncomfortable situations. A general rule of thumb is to never send an email message you wouldn't want posted on a company bulletin board. Always be professional on the phone. Your voicemail greeting should be businesslike and reflect the personality of your company. Colleagues and customers alike appreciate it when their messages are returned promptly or are forwarded to the proper person. Personal phone calls should be minimized or avoided, and your business phone conversations should be conducted in the same professional manner as other business conversations.
Great. I was wondering if you could look over those figures.
Hello, Liz. This is Aaron Collins at AV Corporation. I was just calling to confirm our appointment tomorrow at 3 p.m. Wonderful, and you're on the southeast corner of the building, right?
It's also a good idea to keep a calendar or day planner by the phone so you can write down important information. This will help you avoid accidentally forgetting important meetings and commitments. A very important part of any business environment is the business meeting. Whether it's an internal meeting between members of your own company or a meeting that involves members of outside businesses, your conduct will affect your success. You should always dress appropriately for the office environment in which the meeting is held. For example, Aaron normally works in a very casual business environment, but since he's attending a meeting in another, more formal environment, he is dressed accordingly.
You're going to be in a meeting and you just got hired, and people are going to see how you react at that meeting, and whether you got involved or were sitting back or whether you were half asleep. I think you need to be attentive and maybe take notes and maybe ask some questions, and that will be refreshing to your boss because they'll say, oh good, this person's paying attention.
I'll go ahead and pass.
When you are hosting a business meeting, make sure that the meeting room is neat and orderly. All materials and equipment should be ready in advance so the meeting can get started on time and proceed in an orderly fashion. Prepare a written agenda for the meeting and inform everyone about the agenda in advance. This ensures that everyone will be properly prepared. During the meeting, sit up straight and be attentive. Take notes, ask questions, and listen well. Don't interrupt others, and make sure everyone is able to voice their opinions. Keep your comments positive and your criticism constructive. Make notes of any commitments or items requiring follow-up. After the meeting, make sure you follow up with the proper individuals and let them know the results of the meeting. When you're doing this, it is very important to follow the proper chain of command. Proper business etiquette largely involves using good common sense. When is the best time to start practicing proper business etiquette? Now, in the classroom. Practice good posture. Listen well, take notes, and don't interrupt. Be prepared, be on time, and don't leave early. By practicing good behavior now, you'll be better able to handle business situations that present themselves later. Whether you're looking for a job or already are a member of the workforce, proper business etiquette will make a positive impression on others. It is the person who makes the good impression that gets the job, wins the promotion, or clinches the deal. As the business world becomes increasingly competitive, proper business etiquette is absolutely essential to your business success.